Of course, Parliament is sitting for an emergency 2 days. It's been recalled. Condolences in the House today. But voters have given their verdict in a couple of opinion polls over the last week. And they're looking at the two major parties and their leaders, and they're not liking what they see. One Nation appears to be the big beneficiary. One Nation MP now, Barnaby Joyce, joins us. Do you feel pretty smug today?
No, that'd be the last thing I feel. I'd feel humbled. I'm actually very aware of what an incredible responsibility that has been indicated by the Australian people that they would give to us. It's an indication polling, it's not a vote. And so the work is still in front of us. But there is a change in politics. It's not just happening in Australia, it's happening across the globe. People want it to be more decisive. They want it to be clearer. They're not too fond of this idea of take us for granted while you placate a minority group or a sort of a marginal group that works at a tangent to what is best for Australia. And we're seeing that in the poll. The change is not coming, the change is here. There are so many people who...
Which minority group are you talking about, Barnaby? Sorry.
Well, I'm talking about a whole range of them, actually, Laura. I'm talking about when people use their issues of their fervency for intermittent power at the expense of pensioners who can't afford their power bill. I'm talking about people who believe that there should be an unobstructed right to come into Australia, and that's just something Australians have to accept. I'm talking about people who say that you can say and do whatever you like in Australia, and people have to make allowance for that without calling it out for what it is. I'm talking about a whole range of things, Laura, which every day I'm talking about people who believe that their right for even the definition of gender precludes your right to say the bleeding obvious of exactly what you are.
You're talking about the issue
there are
that's
so
before
many of
Parliament
these, Laura.
right now too. Do you have concerns
Yeah,
about
we're talking about
free
that.
speech?
We're talking about that right
Do you have
now.
concerns about the Royal Commission? If you could just quickly get to that.
Sure. Laura, what I have concerns about is that this has been broadened to be a catch-all. It's supposed to be dealing with a problem, which is Islamic fundamentalism that emanated from the southwest suburbs of Sydney that could justify the murder of people at a beach in the middle of Sydney in broad daylight. That's what we're supposed to be dealing with. We're not supposed to be dealing with how many firearms farmers should have, the rights of recreational shooters in the bush, other areas where it started looking not so much like hate speech but censorship, where it could be broadened into other areas that basically took away the capacity for debate of things in the public square. We want to deal with the problem. And what we've seen, I must admit, even in the statements by the Prime Minister thus far, is there's a reticence to say the word Islamic fundamentalism, and then there's this sort of
he said it today.
Broad gambit of issues that they need to cover.
He did say it today in his speech, but look, I appreciate what you're saying there, and we've got to see how this year kicks off. Certainly, I think voters have said enough of the politics that is serving in the self-interest of leaders and the major parties at the moment. But Barnaby, you were late, so we are well out of time. We'll speak soon.